Nice to get through. Yeah,
Good to have you.
I think there should be a defence for Justin Welby, because the Christian faith or the Christian church or even the Catholic Church is not like an institution like the hospitals or the police or anything like that. You've got to see this as a different organisation built on forgiveness. Now, obviously, Justin Welby wasn't involved in any of the action, and yes, he probably should have done a lot more. But can anybody who's phoned you up tonight to condemn him not look at their own life and opportunities where they should have acted better or should have helped someone or been kinder, you know?
But Daniel, come on, it isn't about being kind. I can hand on heart say, and I think most people could, that there has never been a time in my life where I helped a paedophile evade justice.
I don't think he saw it that way. And in his own words...
But that's the problem, isn't it?
Yeah, but we expect these people to delegate to the bishop. And obviously he probably didn't do his due diligence. Look, you know, Jesus Christ only had to pick out 12 men, and one of them was a bummer. So you've got to go down that we should at least be forgiving this guy, because trust me when I tell you, anything like this, he would never make the same mistake again. And he's gone in 18 months.
But Daniel, if he was in another position, you talked about hospitals and schools. He would have been, if that was a head teacher that had covered up child abuse by a member of staff, he would have been sacked. So what you're saying is the bar for moral behaviour is lower for the Archbishop of Canterbury than it would be for the head teacher in the school or a head of a hospital trust.
Absolutely not.
That is what you're saying.
What I'm saying is there should be a level there of forgiveness for people being human, and to err is to be human.
Okay, Daniel, just pause there if you would. Let's bring in Jason in Marylebone on this. Jason, Daniel's saying, you know, Christianity is about forgiveness. Maybe we should show a little bit of that spirit towards Justin Welby. What say you? Evening.
Good evening. Good to have you back at your regular slot.
Thanks, Jason.
Forgiveness. I mean, seriously, what this man's done for me, he puts me off wanting to go and speak to a minister or a rabbi and anyone that's of that cloth. It makes me think twice about it now, because this is somebody that's basically defending a paedophile.
He's not defending, but he did play a role in making sure that paedophile never faced justice.
So how's that not defending? I mean, by preventing that from happening, if you've got the opportunity to help get a paedophile basically put away, everybody should do that. And I don't care whether you're a religious person or a non-religious person. This is paedophilic. I mean, this is just beyond disgusting. And I can't understand how anybody could try and talk about forgiveness because they're a person of religion. That to me makes no sense. It's almost the complete opposite to what it should be.
Okay. Daniel?
Well, I fully understand his point. But again, there has to be, in the Christian faith, there has to be a making up for errors or things that you did wrong. There is no opportunity in this. If you just cast him out or end his career 18 months short, there's no opportunity for him to come back and actually make amends for not doing more to put this man behind bars. I agree with you totally. That man was evil and heinous, and he should be behind bars.
But he's not. He's dead, and he never faced justice,
exactly.
Partly because Justin Welby never bothered to alert the police properly. I mean, it's shameful, Daniel. Come on.
I agree with you, but there has to be an opportunity for Justin Welby to make up for his lack of diligence.
What? So he has to have another paedophile scandal, and this time maybe he'll make the right decision.
Well, I would imagine he would never make the same mistake twice. Having gone through this once. But again, it's a different institution to the rest of the world.
But shouldn't it be a more moral institution?
Absolutely. I agree with you 100%. But again...
No worries. Daniel, I'm finding it really
Jason.
bizarre because you keep saying you 100% agree, but then you keep saying that he has the right to kind of stick up for him or defend himself. But I don't really understand where you're at, because he doesn't have that right. He shouldn't be having that opportunity. Because he's fouled everybody. He's let me down by doing what he's done. He should resign. If he had any decency, he'd resign.
Everyone is always out for the scalp. You can't punish the guy who did it. So everyone's wanting to lash out at the nearest opportunity, and this happens in every walk of life.
So Daniel, you find out your next door neighbour is a paedophile. Do you keep quiet or do you report him to the police?
Absolutely, I report him.
So then you agree
again,
with us?
From his own words. His words were he was assured by the guy who worked for him that he had been reported to the police, and he checked in, as he says on Nick Ferrari's show. He checked with regularly, and he said, yeah, it's been reported. Now, if you're a manager and you're expecting your staff to work for you, then, what's the point in being the head of a church if you can't rely on the people around you? Now, he was obviously failed by that person, and he failed himself by the seriousness of this and not making sure 100% that he was that had been dealt with. But then again, if he did do that, then he would have been seen as some kind of control person and not trustful of the people who were there to work for him and actually deliver this command to justice.
Jason?
Look, Daniel's thrown a slightly different spin on it, because I was under the impression that he absolutely knew that he hadn't reported a paedophile.
The independent report into this found that he, Justin Welby himself, could and should have reported it and didn't. But I'd also say, if you're a government minister and a mistake of this proportion is made by your team, you carry the can. If this was in a government department, the Secretary of State, the Cabinet Minister, would have resigned or been sacked long ago. Why should the Church of England be any different? You can't blame underlings. You're the leader. You're responsible.
It can't be any different, and it shouldn't be any different. And sickly, it is different, and that makes it wrong. And he's carrying the candle for people like me to lose all respect for people like him because of situations like this.
Jason, I hear you. Let's put that back to Daniel. Daniel, even if you think he should be given forgiveness, when you hear people like Jason and others, including the Bishop of Newcastle, say that he's lost moral authority, doesn't it just become a matter of common sense that to stop undermining the church and damaging it any further, he should step down?
Well, the issue is that sense isn't common to everybody. And again, it's a different institution to what everything else is. And you're trying to you're trying to shoehorn it into the same way it operates. And it simply does not operate the same way as any other.
It covers up sex abuse more than other institutions seem to do, according to this report.
That is always wrong. That is always wrong.
But how can he have any moral authority after this? Does he have moral? Do you think he has moral authority left?
I think they should look at this and allow him the opportunity of making up for the errors that he's done, especially in a case like this. I'm sure this may not have been his only error, but something as serious as this. You give the man an opportunity to make it right. And I think they're not allowing that to happen.
Would you want that in any other walk of life? I mean, if that was I don't know if you've got kids, but if that was the teacher at your children's school, the head teacher had knowingly not reported a paedophile teacher, would your view, Daniel, be give him another chance to put things right next time? Because I suspect most people would want that person out on their backside pretty quickly.
I agree with you, but ultimately he believed in his heart that it had been reported. By his staff.
Well, the report found that he personally could and should, to quote them, have done more himself. Got to leave it there for time reasons. Daniel, thank you very much indeed. Daniel and Ryget and Jason in Marylebone. Appreciate your calls. Very different perspectives.